are here with our next episode of Meet the Relentless, and I'm here with Sam Dalgliesh. Welcome, Sam.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
So you are a brand new agent with us out of the Ames office. Is that right?
Yeah, yep.
And so do you live up in the Ames area?
I do live in Ames.
Have you lived there for a long time, your whole life? Or?
Yeah, most of my life. I've lived other places here and there, but probably 20 so of my 27 years I've been in Ames.
Okay, awesome. And so, Sam, you're going to be a solo agent working out of the Ames office. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, your family, kind of what brought you into having an interest in real estate.
Sure. So, yeah, like she said, I'm from Ames, Iowa. Lived there my whole life. Currently, right now, I'm 27. I have two kids. They are 6 and 2.
Aww.
So, as far as real estate goes, I've always had an interest, for the last 5 or 6 years, just kind of passively, looking into it as a hobby. But as the years have gone by and different life changes have happened, it just seemed like a good time to kind of take the jump and go for it. So
yeah, awesome. So your kids 6 and 2, those are fun ages.
Oh yeah,
boy, girl.
Yep. So my 6-year-old's a girl, and then my son, he's 2.
Okay. Is your daughter getting into any kind of activities or anything?
Yeah, right now she's doing like gymnastics and stuff like that. So she's very much into like the dance, the gymnastics, just anything where she can kind of jump around and show her girliness. And
that's fun. Awesome. And so you've lived in the Ames area most of your life. You talked about just kind of making this shift. So what did you do before in your work experience?
So for the last 10 years, I was a professional glass artist. So for about 7 years, I kind of built up my own small business, did that independently.
Cool.
And then the last couple of years, I got hooked up with my buddy Zarin. He owns Uncle Ruckus in Des Moines. I helped him build up his newest company called Midwest Mellow, which is basically a kind of like tobacco store, but they're very focused on like glass art and things like that. They have a full studio. So
Gotcha.
The last few years, I kind of just helped build that up and kind of promote that with him.
Cool. And so would you say in your roles with those businesses, were you like literally hands-on, like creating and being artistic? Okay.
Yeah, that was 85% of what I did. Cause that's what I liked to do. It was the coming up with the pieces and, building them, designing them, things like that. So that's always what I've focused on, in those businesses.
Okay, cool. And so is that something that you will continue to do or you will keep as a hobby or?
Yeah. So, the goal right now is to do real estate, have that be my full-time thing, but I'll always blow glass. It's just one of those things that I've done it for so long and I've built up such a skill set that, for one, it's very unique and not a lot of people have that skill set. So it's always something I will do, and it's always something I'm going to be able to lean back on even for a hobby, kind of an escape, but also a way to have like some sort of side hustle going.
Yeah, that's so cool. I took my kids to a thing in Kansas City on a quick little getaway a few years ago, and they had like a glass blowing like demonstration, and it was actually a marble store.
Yeah.
And it is like you say, really unique, and it's something that you have to have a lot of skill and creativity to do.
Definitely.
So that's cool that you'll be able to maintain that.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're making this shift into real estate. What's your big why? Have you figured that out yet?
I like the ability to kind of, I've always had that like entrepreneur mindset. So, with real estate, it was just very easy to jump back into that again. And the main reason I want to is I've always wanted to own my own properties. So kind of taking this step and, joining in with Century 21, kind of learn the ropes, be able to buy, sell houses, kind of see all that, how it works like behind the scenes. Just so that I can really just take that and translate it into kind of building up my portfolio and doing that.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome. And I think you're definitely in the right place to kind of get all the tools and things that you need to just foster that growth. And so we're excited. We love having new agents. We love being able to work with them and help them build their business, but also in a way where you're going to be able to bring your own skill set and things you've learned from previous business and all of that into the mix. And so just based on like what you've learned so far about real estate, and as you're exploring, and you obviously have gone through the licensing process and you're getting your feet wet here, how do you see what you've done in the past impacting or influencing what you think you might be able to do in real estate?
I think the biggest thing is just kind of like the background of how kind of business runs. You know, a lot of the things that I was doing with my previous job, going to trade shows, you know, doing demos, you know, live events, things like that. That ability to be able to like talk to people and like, you know, have conversation and just like personalize with people, I think is something that's going to help translate. And then also like having the ability to like motivate yourself to do something, rather than being like an employed person where someone's kind of telling you and guiding you. Like in these types of situations, you have to be able to kind of motivate yourself and like give yourself that drive to be able to get what you need done, accomplished.
Yeah. I've spoken like a true entrepreneur. It's one of those things. It's a business where you get out of it what you put into it is what I hear you saying. And it's awesome that you recognize that, because I think, you know, sky's the limit if with that mindset, as far as like, okay, I'm going to do the work. I get to be my own boss. Yeah, that's awesome. So tell us a little bit, you know, aside from the business stuff, like what other things do you like to do for fun? Like any hobbies or special interests?
Yeah. You know, living in Iowa, you know, the 3 months of the, well, I guess maybe 6 months of the year that it's like winter time, you know, I've always liked to go snowboarding. That's taken me to a lot of cool places, like going to Colorado, you know, Utah, things like that. So snowboarding, you know, I spend a lot of free time kind of, you know, watching YouTube videos and playing games and things like that, you know, hanging out with my kids. But, you know, you know, kind of just like your basic things. Like I like tech stuff, like, you know, programming, things like that. I'm not very good at it. I've never actually done it. I'm more in the learning process of it. But, you know, things like that.
Yeah. So with the snowboarding, do you go, like, you live in Ames? Have you been to like Seven Oaks? Is that kind of the place you go up in Boone, or like where else in the area?
So I worked at Seven Oaks for like 3 or 4 seasons. Okay. And that was always just because I never wanted to pay for it. So
hey, that's a good little side gig to have.
Right, you just
pays
work
for your
there.
hobby.
Right. So I've gone to Seven Oaks when Sleepy Hollow had their snowboarding and stuff in Des Moines. That's kind of like the main place I'd go because my buddy lives here.
Sure.
So we'd go there a lot growing up. But most of the places I've gone has been like in Colorado. And that's just because like once you go to like a bigger mountain compared to a hill, it's really hard to go back to like a hill. So, you know, like Winter Park, Breckenridge,
nice.
Things like that. Yeah.
I know we have some other skiers in our midst in this company and snowboarders. I am not one of them. I actually have never been skiing. I would be the person who can't like get off the lift. Sure. So
that's like one of the harder parts, I think, is like getting off the lift. I could like
rock the tube for sure. I could go to Seven Oaks and tube down the hill. That's about it. So.
And that's a good time though. So that's all right.
Yeah, that's fun. And so I'm going to ask you a few kind of rapid fire questions. These are just for fun.
Yeah, definitely.
So just the first thing that kind of comes to my mind, and actually the first one I think I already know the answer to: beach or mountains?
Oh, mountains.
Yeah, I thought so.
Definitely.
Brownies or cheesecake?
Cheesecake.
Okay. And this one's just kind of a more for fun. You can elaborate a little bit. If you were an animal that would best describe you, what would it be and why?
An animal that would best describe me. I think it would be a sloth, and the only reason I say that is because sloths are like very sleepy animals, and I have narcolepsy, so it seems like a very. I'm glad
that you explained, because I was like, oh no, is he lazy?
No.
Okay, so sleepy and kind of gotcha.
Yeah.
So thinking about the year ahead, we've got all of 9 more months ahead of us. It's almost March. That's hard to believe. So we're almost through the first quarter of the year. But thinking about the year ahead and getting started at Century 21, really right in line with like spring market, which seasonally is our busiest time. Curious to know, what is one big goal you have for yourself for your first year here at Century 21?
So my biggest goal for this first year is just to be able to have it be a full like my full income and have it be able to support me. I want to be able to not have to have like a side job or anything like that. So the goal for the first year is just be able to establish myself and get it so where this is what I do full time, 8 to 5 every day type of situation.
Awesome. I think that's a great goal, and I think it's certainly one that can be achieved. And I think you'll find as you get to know other agents within our walls that it's that drive that is going to get you there. Mm-hmm. And, you've got the mindset to do it. We're excited to have you. And so I'm excited to see how the year unfolds for you as well.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to be here, for sure.
Awesome. Well, it's been so good to chat with you today. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up.
Awesome. Thank you for
aboard,
having me.
Sam, and we look forward to seeing what you do in 2024.
Thank you.